Hello, my second tutorial is going to be teaching you how to do a double crochet stitch. Now you've been practicing your chains, your foundation chains, the next stage is to put some stitches into that chain. This is a little swatch I've made up that shows you double crochet stitches. It's quite a dense fabric. It's not as stretchy as some of the other stitches once they're worked. So this is quite tightly woven, good for dishcloths and things like that. What happens as we move along into the different stitches is they get slightly longer, so that gives you more of a stretch and a bit more gappy, if you like. This purple one here is the stitch we're going to start on today, so you can see that this one is quite a lot shorter than all the others. So it's the first one to practice on, really, because you don't wind your yarn around your hook as many times. So it's a good one to start with. This one is a, if you wanted to know right now, this one's a half treble, this one's a treble, and this one's a double treble. So we'll come to those later on. Now, an important note to make is that this stitch is called a double crochet in the UK, but in the USA they call this stitch a single crochet. We don't have a single crochet in the UK, so if you see a pattern that mentions single crochet, then it is definitely an American pattern. It's exactly the same stitch, so there is no, once you know the terms for things, you can very easily translate them, but it is really important to know that they're different as we go along. Okay, so to start us off, I'm using this Aran weight acrylic yarn to show you. I showed you last episode this one here that's done in a double knit DK yarn, and that's a little bit finer. So for the purposes of this video, I'm showing you in Aran weight, and that's a little bit chunkier, a bit easier to see your stitches as we go along. So I'm going to start by refreshing the chain. So we'll go back and recap. Move things out of the way. So we're going to make our loop like that. We've got it crossed over. Then I'm going to twist it over so I can see the yarn underneath and pick up with my hook. This is a 5.5mm hook, so it's nice and chunky. Should be right with this yarn. Okay, so we're going to make 11 chains in total because our swatch is going to be 10 stitches, and I shall explain why we are doing 11 chains rather than 10 as we go along. So hopefully you've practiced now holding the yarn and getting a nice tension as you're practicing your chains. So we're ready to go. So we're going to make a chain, yarn over, pull through. It's 1, 2, yarn over, pull through, 3, yarn over, pull through, 4, yarn over, pull through, 5, yarn over, pull through, 6, yarn over, pull through, 7, through 8, yarn over, 9, 10, and 11. So we'll just have a little look at that chain, just refresh the anatomy of the chain as we go along. So there's, if I get my thinner crochet hook, we can have a look at this properly. There's 1 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. 11 chains on the hook. Now, in single double crochet, might swap between American and English terms as we go along. I'll try not to. So we're going to miss that first chain and we're going to go into the second chain. And as a beginner, I would suggest that you go into the top loop. So what we're going to do is we're sort of going to hold it, the chain, so that it's the end of it is going to the left. And we're going to take our hook and pinch just below that second chain. So there's one chain there, and we're going to pinch that third one. That sort of helps with your tension a little bit. Don't pinch it too hard, give yourself thumb ache. And we're going to go into the top loop. Can you see that because that V is on its side, there's a top loop there and a bottom loop. So we're going to go into that top loop and put our hook through there. So it looks like you've got now 2 chains, 2 loops on your hook. We're going to loop round, yarn over, and we're going to pull through. And now you've definitely got 2 loops on your hook, haven't you? 1 and 2. And we're going to yarn over again and pull through both loops. Okay, so that is your first double crochet stitch. Now you're going to move the hand that was pinching that chain down 1. So you're pinching the 4th chain, I suppose, now. And we're going to go in to that top loop of the next chain. We're going to go in here, you see? And we're going to do yarn over, and we're going to pull through just like we did when we were making our foundation chain. And then we've got 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and this time we're going to pull through both of those loops. So that's 2 stitches. So then we're going to move our thumb and finger down 1, and we're going to go into, stick our hook into the next chain, just there, in, like that. And we're going to do yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. So you might see that as I'm doing that, I'm naturally moving my thumb up to hold a little bit closer, just to ease those stitches, those loops open and pull through. Okay, so we'll move our thumb down a little bit to hold a little bit further down, so to give us some space. We're going to take our hook into that top loop. You see there, this top loop there. I'm going to go in, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, move our hand down a little bit, yarn over, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, again, I'm going to go through that top loop, that next one, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through both. So we have got, if we look at the rest of the chain, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches to go. So holding, not too tight, holding it there to help with your tension. You've got your yarn looped over your first finger so that it's not too tight and not too loose. We're going to go into the next chain, the top loop, in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. 3 left. So you can see where the next one is. It's this top one here. Pull into the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both, to left, there's one and there's the other, so we're going to go into that one, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through, last one, yarn over, pull it through, and then yarn over again and pull through there. So that is your first row of double crochet stitches. If we take a moment just to look at it, I'll just move my hook out the way a little bit. We have got, it's a bit more difficult to see the stitches from this angle, but if you twist it, it looks very similar to your foundation chain. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 10 stitches. Okay. Right, now we need to turn now to do next, because it's all pointing the wrong way. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just a chain. So we're going to do yarn over and pull through, just like when you make your foundation chain. That's made a chain, which means, now I don't know if you can see, that chain has now lifted your work to be a little bit higher. So all of those, the next row of stitches will be the same height as that chain. Otherwise, what happens is you get a bit of a squish and it becomes diagonal. So this one here, this stitch here, didn't have a chain, and you can see that it's very squished to the bottom. So unlike its next door neighbour, this purple one here, it's nice and lifted because it's got that one to help it really. So that's the idea. Hopefully once you see it in action, it will make a bit more sense. Okay, so we're going to turn our work, and how we're going to do that, it's a little bit like a page on a book, just going to turn it around like that. Okay, so we're going to go back the other way. The first stitch, so you've done, see if I can hold it to show you. This is your chain here, and this one here is the first stitch. So you can see, so that's better. There's the chain, and there's the first V of the first stitch. So now, instead of going through loops in your foundation chain, we're going through previously made stitches. So what you want to do is go through that hole underneath that V. So when I put my hook in, it almost looks like you've got 3 stitches on the hook, because we've gone underneath that V there. And then we're going to do the same as we did in the row before. So we're going to go yarn over, pull it through the first one, so you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. That's your first stitch. The next one, you can see where the V is if I twist my work. So we're going through just underneath that little V there. I'm going to do yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, the same thing. You can see that's the hole there. So there's my V, so I'm going to go in there. There, yarn over and pull through. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through both. Okay, so hopefully you can see where those stitches need to go now. There's the V, we're going to go in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, next one, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both, in, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both, in there, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. So let's have a look, see how many we've done so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we've got 3 more to go. 1, 2, 3. So we go in there, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Penultimate, in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Now the last stitch is often a little bit squished, looks a bit weird, but it's right in the very corner. Just wiggle it round. So you've got both of those. You see when I take it out it's a bit more obvious. There's the V there. So you're going in that section there. And we're doing one more stitch. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through both. Okay, so there we go. We've got 2 rows of double crochet, and we're going to turn it back round and we're going to do another row. This little swatch here, this is done in exactly the same way, but this is made with chunky yarn, so you can see the stitches much thicker. And I have done, in this one, I've done 10 rows to make it a square. So that's our aim, but you might not want to listen to my voice for the whole of 10 rows. But I'll do a couple more. So we're going to do our turning chain, which will lift our stitches up so it's not wonky. And then we're going to turn our work, pages of a book, and then we're going to go into our first stitch, which is this one here. We're going to go in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Next one, in that hole there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, the next one, that hole there, which is underneath that V, and there, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on the hook, and pull through both. Okay, there's the next hole, going in there, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Insert the hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over through both loops. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. There's the next hole. We've got 1, 2, 3 left to go. 1, here we go. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. And the last one, remember it looks a little bit squished compared to the others. There you go, you've gone through both underneath both of the sides of the V and pull through. So you've got 2 loops on the hook and pull through. Okay, so that is 3 rows of double crochet. So we're going to do one more and then I will take a break and come back and you can have a go yourself. Okay, so we'll do 1 chain, then we're going to turn our work and we're going to go in the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Next stitch, insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both. There we go. Insert the hook, yarn over, insert the hook in the next, under the next stitch, through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops, pull through both. In there. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. That funny one again. In the end, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook. There we go. So that is 4 rows of double crochet. Now, which side is best to show you on? You can tell that you've done 4 here because there is different ridges and bumps on the back there. So you go, it's slightly raised for the first one, and then obviously when you turned it round you did it's going to show the raise on the other side. So on this side you can see that it's slightly depressed in there. So raised is 1, then this line here, it's a little bit of a valley, is number 2, and this is number 3. And then we've got number 4 that we've just done. So keep going with that until you've got to 10 rows, and then it should look a little bit like this. Keep counting. What's important is you keep counting every time you finish a row. Just make sure that you've still got 10 stitches. So how you do that is you tilt it towards you so you can see the V's, and we've got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As long as you've got 10 stitches, you should have straight lines at the side. Sometimes it's a bit easy to miss a stitch, so you might have only 9 stitches when you get to the end, and so your side of your square will start getting a bit of a funny shape. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you what to do if anything goes wrong. It's really simple. So what we'll do is we'll do 1 more row, lift it up there, turn it over, we're going to go in. Now, you might, for example, miss that stitch and anyone could. I've done it a lot of times in my time. So, oh, I've missed that one and I've accidentally gone into the next one instead. So I've done one stitch there. And then I suddenly realise that I have, see, it's not actually, it's quite a forgiving stitch. So actually it's not that obvious what I've done. So I might not notice until I've got to the end and counted my stitches and, oh, there's only 9. So what you do is you take your hook out of the loop and you just pull gently, and there it undoes. And because there's the loop, it just pops up, and it's not like knitting where it can go right down the middle and you need to undo a lot. You can always see. There we go. And I've gone all the way back now to where my turning chain was at the end there. And I know that I can slip my hook back on my loop, get hold of my yarn and go in the hole that I'm supposed to do, which is that one. There we go. So it's very, very easy to undo mistakes, very easy. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson. Have a go at this, have a go at getting 10 stitches, and maybe make a few little swatches. This particular pattern would be lovely to make a little cushion cover. You could do this with all sorts of different colours, make the same patch, and you could crochet them together to make a piece. So it's super. Again, they could be washcloths or makeup remover pads. It's that sort of texture. Anyway, good luck and let me know how you get on. All right, well done.